My name is Sherry, and I'm happy to be here today. Today is a really good day. In about 24 hours, actually less, I will be boarding a plane to Nairobi, Kenya. So I have been planning for 2 years, doing a lot of research as to which African country I'm going to. And I never would have thought it would be Nairobi, Kenya. But it just so happens that that is where I need to be, and for a lot of reasons. Number one is religious. Number two, for this channel and the purpose that I have for this channel. Years ago, about 5 years ago, maybe six at this point, I had this channel, or rather I was doing the same thing on that channel, reading about history. But it was particularly about African American history in this country. And I know our history did not start in slavery, but chattel slavery for African Americans, those who are descendants of those that were stolen from Africa, it is a significant part of our history. And the reason why is because our ancestors, as well as us, were affected on 6 levels of wellness, and I'll try to remember them. Number 1, social, emotionally, mentally, environmentally, physically, and economically. Economically speaking, I'll get to that in a moment. But let's talk about mentally and even socially. All of these books actually, particularly the American Slave Code, was a horrendous period for our ancestors here in this country. Over 250 years in this country in chattel slavery. There were abolitionists in Europe, Europeans that were trying to abolish slavery for 200 years. So I implore you to look at those 2 videos as well. The 200-year struggle, part 1 and 2, to abolish slavery. So the critical race theory, as they're trying to keep hidden the history of slavery in this country, what they're also doing is silencing the history of those abolitionists that fought for centuries, 2 centuries in Europe, to abolish slavery. Many of them gave their lives to the struggle to abolish slavery, from a young man or young women to the end of their life. And although slavery was abolished 33 years before it was abolished here in America, they did not see it abolished even in Europe. So one thing I would like to talk about at another time, I'm going to talk about the Revolutionary War. Had Great Britain won that war, our ancestors would have been free instantly. So there was a war before the Civil War that was about freeing the Africans that were enslaved, our ancestors in this country, and it's hidden. And the 4th of July had very much to do with that. So if you go look at those 2 videos, part 1 and 2, the 200-year struggle to abolish slavery, actually both of those videos, it talks about how in Europe they were desperately trying to end slavery, and then they were going to work on ending it in America. So even the Revolutionary War was really about ending slavery. So the American Slave Code was first published in 1853, and I actually have that book. And the opening of every chapter that I read, you'll see a comparison, or you'll see rather this book side by side with the old book. For now, this one, just go to any reading of the American Slave Code and go to the description area under the video, click the link to the baby book patch, and you'll be routed to the store where you can purchase this book. And I believe right underneath, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see all the other books that I published, and you can also purchase those books, and it will greatly help support this channel and the work that I do. And it is very intensive. Sitting down, typing every page of a book, and then proofreading the book 4 times, that's a lot of work. So what that means is, not only do I type it, I edit it, organize it, I design the book cover, everything. I proofread it 4 times, all of the books. And then we have John Merrick. And I have a book of poems by Walter E. Todd, A Little Sunshine, beautiful poems. African American Family Handbook for Success. I have The Tragedy of the Negro in America. That's the author there. And we pretty much know what tragedies we were facing in the early 1900s under Jim Crow, as you can see right here. A picture book, Scott's Official History of the American Negro in the World War, and it's fully illustrated. At least 100 illustrations of the soldiers in the World War. And so, as they were in black and white during that time, these are in black and white as well. So, and it looks clearer in person. So this is over 500 pages. And again, I sat down and typed each one of these, illustrated it, designed it, organized, illustrated, designed it, typed it, all of that, proofread it 4 times. This one has been proofread 2 times. So I'm still in the process. At some point, I'll read it 2 more times, but it's good to go. It's the second time was really good. So that's on sale also. And this book is actually just a picture book of the American Negro in the World War. And as you can see, it's full of pictures of African American men in the World War. That's the First World War, 1917. When I first considered republishing this book, I looked at it rather cynically because I said, why would African American men even want to fight for this country after all that had happened during slavery and up to that time, the lynchings and so on and so forth? And let me tell you, when I found out the reason why, I almost cried. And so I'm going to read an excerpt that I put on the back of this book, and I'll tell you why. Propaganda emphasized racial discrimination of one kind or another, and unfortunately were able to refer to the facts that the Black American, supposedly a citizen, was in many states denied the ballot, that he was Jim Crowed on many of the railroads and public carriers, although charged first-class fare for transportation, that he was denied admission to most public places of amusement, hotels, and the like. Using such arguments as a basis, the question was raised as to why the Negro was willing to jeopardize his life, his liberty, and his pursuit of happiness in coming to the rescue of America in her extremity and thus helping to defeat Germany, a country where, it was said, such racial discrimination did not exist. None of these questions, however, disturbed the thoughtful leaders of the Negro people. They knew the designing motive back of such propaganda. They recognized without question that the moment the American Negro failed to perform all of the duties of citizenship, he immediately abdicated the right of claiming the full privileges of citizenship. The Black men that went to war, World War I, they believed by going to war, when they returned home, they would be looked upon as, respected as, and treated as men. But unfortunately, it did not work out that way, as many of them were murdered for simply wearing the American uniform in public places. These books are for sale, and as I mentioned, they'll greatly help support this channel. They will also help me to continue to uncover hidden history because it is now hidden. At one time, these books were in libraries and they took them out because that's what they do. Generally, when books get old, they just take them off the shelves. Sometimes they sell them, but they're still around, but they're falling apart. Well, actually, the old books, you can rarely find them. I just so happen to be a collector of old books, antiquarian books, particularly African American history. And so that is why I have them. And I'm always looking, searching, whether it be at garage sales or estate sales. I would love to be able to find older people, 80s, 90s, or 70s even, that may even have their parents' old books or libraries and somehow obtain these books so that I can just keep them in circulation at least another 100 years. But for now, this is what I have, all that I have republished. I believe this is it. But one thing's for sure, you purchase this book, you will have it in your family library and it will circulate for many years within your family. And if not in your family, somebody will have this book and it will be around for as old as it is. It'll be around just that much longer. And so this book right now, do the math, 1953, it'll be 200 years old pretty soon. In another 30 years, it'll be 200 years old. Okay, so with that, I think I better end because I have to do some more packing. It's 9:50 and just a lot of other stuff. Peace and blessings, and I'll see you later.